Welcome back, Freedom Fighters. How is it going? This is Break the Chains Media in 2023. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. I know I've been away for a while, but I decided with the new year coming in, I've got a whole new plan. I got a whole new revamp of things happening. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff, but actually it's going to be a lot of new stuff too. So I'm very excited, and I hope all of you will join me in the new year and what's to come. For anyone who hasn't joined the channel yet, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all of my platforms: BitChute, Minds, Rumble, Gab, however you see fit, Twitter, Break the Chains M, and Instagram. I'm actually been doing a lot of stuff with artwork and creativity. I've always been an artist. A lot of the stuff behind me you see there. I love art and I love building things. So Instagram, I post artwork, I post things I've created, and I also post a lot of memes. So Instagram, Break the Chains Media, I encourage you to check it out there as well. But not to get too wordy right now, because we've got an excellent podcast coming up with Joe Bradley from SoldOut.tv and myself. We do a little collab. I sent him some hot sauces that I made, which I posted on my Instagram. But I sent some of my hot sauces to him, and he ended up sending me some of his salsas that he made, both out of our garden. So, in the coming podcast that we got coming up for you, which is fantastic, we do a taste test as well as catch up on the last few months and catch up on what's been going on in the political sphere, social, cultural, all the things. But we gear it more around homesteading, more about gardening, building skills, building values, how to build yourself up in the 2023 year. And that's kind of the angle and direction that my YouTube channel is going to be taking. I've got a lot of things planning for YouTube. It's going to be less political stuff. So, you know, with the YouTube overlords can see it as more of a DIY channel, more of a how-to channel. And it's going to be a great place and a great platform where you can learn things that you might not be aware of, or new skills that you might want to start doing. So I'm going to be doing gardening, blacksmithing, homesteading, canning, a lot of things, how-tos, maybe some hiking, rock climbing, whatever that is on YouTube. But on Rumble, BitChute, and hopefully Rockfin, I will be putting more of my political stuff along with my how-to stuff. So, without further ado, fantastic podcast coming up with Joe Bradley from SoldOut.tv. I encourage you to check his website out, check all of his stuff out too. He's been crushing it as well, and we've got awesome stuff coming for you in 2023. Thank you so much, and without further ado, this is the SoldOut.tv / Break the Chains Media collab mashup podcast coming at you right now.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going today? It's been a minute. I'm happy to bring you back. This is the season 9 finale of the Sold Out podcast, but we got a lot more happening than just me yapping like usual. I'm joined by the one and only Corey Blair from Break the Chains Media once again for another fantastic round with a lot of amazing stuff going on. Corey, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to be back. It's good to be here, man. It's been a hot minute, but we are back on the attack. 2023 never looked so good, and I'm sure we can catch up on all the fun stuff, you know?
Amen, brother. It's been a while. And yeah, 2023, here we are. So let's timestamp it here. This is the morning of the 9th of January, and I'm broadcasting from the bottom right of Wisconsin, and you're out in Colorado, right?
Yep, I'm just west of the city enough to not be poisoned by the liberal hellhole, and too far right of the mountains to actually be free, fully free enough on a piece of land. But hopefully that will change soon enough.
Nice. And just for the audience too, I do want to remind you, this is actually our 4th podcast that we're embarking on here together. Yep. Parts 1, 2, and 3 are already out there on all of Corey's platforms, on my platform, and of course, SoldOut.tv and all that. So make sure you check those out. If this is your first time seeing us two go at it, then you're going to want to catch up on the previous conversations where we've dove into many, many things. I suppose a good place to start before we dive into the amazing taste testing adventure that we have ahead of us today. This episode is going to be goofy and kind of fun. Before we dive into that, maybe let's just catch up the audience on your side of the world. Sure, and mine.
Sure.
What's been going on?
We'll do a little speed cast, like the Netflix special where like watch here to catch the last season. Well, let's be fair though, like for anyone that hasn't been familiar with my channel, I just kind of went off the radar for about 6 months of 2022. Middle of summer last year, I was doing a lot of stuff. I was trying to build my mantra, trying to find myself. It sounded all hippy dippy, but at the end of the day, it comes back to just ensuring that you are making the choices that you need to make to better your life, right? And that's kind of what my whole thing is on the channel, is that like, how can I continue to put out good quality content for people if I'm not the one kind of like driving my own ship? So I spent a lot of last year finishing out my garden. I really stepped it up a notch, put a lot of time, money into that. I'm also picked up a puppy. I've got like a fantastic new dog in the family. I have been trying to better my health, trying to watch more about what I eat, read the ingredients on all the labels. That's one of the big things that I'm going to push this year on my, how YouTube is versus all the other platforms, but on my YouTube channels, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eventually make little clippets and segments that are basically breakdowns of like how the industry, how the machine, how the big pharma, big pharmaceutical, big environment, big tech states are trying to literally poison us and eat, sleep, breathe, everything we do. They're depopulating without using the common trope of eugenics, the active, guns in the field kind of eugenics, where everyone's, that's how you think people die. No, they're doing it a soft kill weapons, roundabout tactics, like I said, within the ingredients label. So that's going to be kind of what I'm going to be doing down the pike. But, I just kind of had to recenter myself, find myself again, and be like, you know what? If I'm going to put out good quality content, I got to find myself. And that's kind of what I was doing with the garden and just being around home and working and just grinding, man.
Beautiful, man. No, it's a beautiful thing. And it rings resonant with me as a creator as well. And it's so funny that at the exact same time you were doing that, kind of taking a little break from the media world, I was doing essentially the same thing for the first time since I started. And, so to speak to my audience, Corey's audience and whatnot, it's very interesting. We both kind of had the same moment hit us where we had to dial it back for a little bit. I think, from my view, it was more of like a reassessment, kind of like I need to be. It's not that I didn't be, I wasn't passionate. I've always been passionate about this kind of thing.
I've always been passionate. Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened was I was starting this real estate gig too on the side. So, I have a whole nother quote day job, but it's one where you're in charge of yourself. So it's like an entrepreneurial thing. And to make sure that got cranked up, and I had a whole bunch of other stuff hitting me in the works. Also doing salsa harvest, the end of the gardening season, when I'm actually really busy making the products that we're going to taste test here coming up and everything. So it's so funny. It all happened at the same time. And yeah, it allowed me to reassess how I want to deliver content to the world. What's going to be the most important thing? And, some of the audience may actually not like the new chapter that's on the horizon, because it's about that time, for us here at soldout.tv to create more exclusive content and upgrade all the content that we put out. So like when we do put out clips, whether it's Rumble or BitChute, I really want it to grab. I want it to be, really nice and people are going to dig it, and not kind of the same old that they've seen for the last several seasons.
I totally hear that, man.
I'm getting better. I like to think as like a video editor, I'm having way more fun doing that than I thought I would. And so, I'm always trying to crank the wheel, trying to be better than I did last year. And I got a lot of goals for 2023. And it's, like you said, when we opened it up, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful year. I see a lot of good stuff happening. I'm super positive about the future.
I'm very stoked.
Yeah, even though some things always look questionable per usual, I see good stuff happening. So good on you.
And I'm sitting here. I think what we hit on was this greater, like you said in the past podcasts that we've discussed. You got to go check them out, folks. If you haven't seen them, go do it. It's great stuff. But the cosmic energy, this force, kind of overtook both of us, and probably many other people in that time where we were just like, we kind of had to we didn't lose our way, but we were just like, we were in a fog, we were in a haze, we were in clouds. We just didn't know where exactly to hone in our skills. We have I know I have so many skills, and I know you do too. Like, I'm trying to get back into music again. Like, there's so many things that, like, I'm just trying to, like, just keep the pots going on the stove, and I don't want any of them to burn or any of them to be forgotten. So, like, I really want to dedicate my time and energy, and, like you said, putting out quality content. So, you know, we don't want to waste anyone's time with the videos we pay, because we put a lot of time in of ourselves. So when we put out good content, it might not be every day, it might not be every week, you know, but when it's out, it's going to be something that they're going to enjoy, and I'm going to be proud of to present it to, you know. So
amen. And like one of the things, and I don't know, I kind of want your take on this, Corey, because for me, this is really hitting home now. We've been, you know, I'm a fan of freedom, been loud and proud about my thoughts on freedom, and, you know, breaking the narrative, right? Breaking the chains of the mind control. That's the reoccurring theme and the bulk of the content that we've put out over the couple years here. But this energy, this cosmic awakening, whatever's going on here, we can talk about it and speculate all we want, and many people have. You know, I feel like it's forcing me to take a big step back from the granular day-to-day dramas and things of the political movements of this. Like, really, I feel like I've done enough of the destroying the narrative of proof, you know, showing the receipts of, like, no, they're lying. Look, obviously they're lying. They're saying this. Like, I feel like I've done my part to a degree. I mean, it's just a feeling. Dude, yeah, we're like, hey,
you're preaching it.
Yeah, like, I think I talked about this a year ago. Like, when people come up, you know, we talk about this thing now, or my family member tries to show me this kind of new article, they're going through their awakening process, you know, other people around me. And I go, yeah, talked about that a while back. Like, I don't even want to get into that anymore. Right, yeah. Some stuff I just kind of want to let it simmer now, because we've lost our breath talking about it. And now it's time to focus on what are the solutions? How do we live great lives?
Response, solution-based, you know, the solution-based breakdown of the breakdown of Babylon. Like, you know, like, yeah. This, you know, we are here saying, you know what, we've been screaming from the bully pulpit for so long. It's all there for anyone to digest when they're ready to digest it. You can keep arguing, but I'm not going to do it anymore. How do I step myself forward and realign myself with this new era of, I think it's going to be like, you know, it's almost like the silent generation in the respect of, you know, the classical silent generation. But this time, the silent generation is people maybe in our age range, plus or minus 5-10 years. But these people that are awake, that are done and sick and tired of pulling up the daily dribble on the Twitter sphere and the daily dribble of the political shit show that's happening all the time. You know, like, I know that no matter who gets the Speaker of the House position, it's going to be a bunch of the same stuff. And hopefully, I would love to see change. There's no reason that I can't hope for the best, but I'm preparing myself to continue on whether it works out or not. And that's kind of how I'm at, you know?
Amen. And I see a lot of talk about, and again, I'm a positivist on principle. I believe in a bright future. I believe in fighting for it, you know, until you're dead is essentially how I look at it. Like, I'll go down swinging, period, no matter what. But yeah, we see some of these things happening. Okay, Kevin McCarthy, this new Speaker of the House, when, let's be real, a lot of the MAGA, a lot of the freedom movement wasn't happy with that. And there's this kind of this quiet promise, like, oh, well, you know, we're going to fix this, and this, and this, and this. And he's in a straitjacket.
Yeah,
and
he's been defanged, as so many people are speaking. Yeah. But like really quick, and I'll let you back get to your point. But like, this was historic, whether you pro or con, or doesn't matter. 100+ years there's never been a Congress that has taken 15 votes in this House of Representatives to vote in a new speaker. So, like, that right there is a political, like, a new shift. You know, it hasn't happened since, like, around the Civil War era. So that's a good thing. And I think people forget that that's how politics work, is that you have this minority in this party that's trying to hold them accountable by keeping them held onto their promises. But we'll see what happens. Cause I know plenty of things that have been defanged, declawed, all the other things, but they still can mess some people up pretty good if they wanted to.
Amen. We see it all the time. And there's no reason why, like folks like you and me who have seen this rigmarole over the years, there's no reason why we wouldn't be on the lookout for them to continue to be turncoats, to continue at the last minute to vote, against the will of the people and all this stuff. So I don't want to give that a ton of my focus or energy. At least I'm trying not to. I keep tabs. You
of what's going on. Stay in the know, but right. Don't let it own you.
Exactly. And I think over the last several years, I would get so hung up, so passionate about specific things, whether it was, vaccine lies or blah, blah, blah. And, I would get so hell bent on that. And at the end of the day, it's like, pump the brakes, dude. Humanity wins. Good wins. It's happening. If you know where to look, you'll see the signs of it. And then there's also the spiritual element of trust who you are, trust your journey, and do the best you can with what you have. Try to be a bright beacon of hope for others and empower people along the way. So that kind of thinking is what has shifted my mode with soldout.tv to expand the platform and make it a lot different, starting with season 10 here. But this is a hell of a way to end season 9. After 3+ years it's been so far, and I'm happy to do it with you here.
And that is a perfect way to bring in the taste test.
Let's do it, dude.
I'm down to try this. I've been waiting.
I know,
since
me too.
I got it, and I know you have too. So real quick, the breakdown here is what we're gonna do, folks. Joe and I kind of surprised him. I told him I was gonna do it a long time ago, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send it out. So for Christmas, I sent him out 4 of my hot sauces and a couple other awesome stuff. But out of my garden, made from seed to sauce. My sauce is called Realm Walker hot sauce. I've got 6 different flavors, and it's all for donate. I give it to people because I love them and I enjoy them. And if they appreciate what I do, they can reciprocate however they feel fit. But at the end of the day, 4 flavors. He's starting out with which one do you got there, Joe?
So this is the first one we're gonna try, and I believe this is the mildest. We're gonna go hotter as we go. This is how do I say this? Niflheim.
Niflheim, yeah. So all of my hot sauces are named after the 9 realms of Norse mythology. Oh. So Realm Walker hot sauce is the name brand for these Beautiful. 9 hot sauces, all different flavors. I'm gonna eventually get a Valhalla, which will be like the stupid hot, and some other ones, but it's all Viking Norse themed. I got the best of both worlds here. I got my Hispanic heritage on one end, and then I've got my Scandinavian, Celtic, Nordic on the other. So that's why nice. I do what I do.
I love that you have wove that element of who you are into your product here. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry, my product looks nothing like his. His product's very, very well done. And you got a nice label on here, and it breaks down.
Thank you.
Well, it breaks down what's in it. So like for you, like the crowd will see what he has on his end. From me, It doesn't say what's in it.
But you know what? This is honestly more rustic, more authentic, and artisanal. Let's be honest though. If some random Joe Blow gave this to me on the street, I don't know if I'd fully taste it. No. I mean, I might smell it first, but like I know it's you. I know where it's coming from, and I can't wait to try it myself. So I've got his nice. Salsa here. I'm going to start with the mildest, which is, he calls it the Green Monster. What are some things in this one here, the Green Monster, that we have?
Sure. Okay. So have you ever tried fried green tomatoes? Let me ask you that.
I think maybe like once or twice in a restaurant. Okay.
So, and actually, yeah. So I'll tell you what's in that, and then you walk us through your process for this.
Sure. Yeah.
Before we eat them.
Yes, exactly. So give me the ingredients and your salsas, and then we'll break down this. And this is what it comes down to. We're doing this taste test, folks, because this is the product of our direction forward and how we have to prosper in these times. In 2023, we are building skills, building hobbies, building value as a human, building value as a person. And I tell this to my son. I go, money isn't valuable. It's only what people believe it's valued, right? nothing has value unless you believe it. So what better place to put value in than yourself? Make yourself the value barter amount of however you want it. Like, you are the most important, valuable, expensive, diamond encrusted, whatever, but you have to learn those skills. You have to be a value to society, to the community. And you start by learning skills.
Amen. Amen. And I second everything you just said there. The whole reason I got into doing this, not, growing a garden and making salsa homemade from home, processing it, sharing it with the world. The whole reason I started that, besides the fact that I'm passionate about that kind of food and I love salsa, is just like you said, so that when the time comes, perhaps, to barter, to trade, to work with other people who make, someone might make pickles in their backyard, and I can go, hey, I want 10 jars of pickles. Let me give you 12 jars of salsa, and boom. That's a quick, nice transaction. And to be honest, over the couple years I've been doing this, making hundreds of jars of salsa, those kinds of moments have come up on the side. I've had, I've wheeled and dealed several different things and donated a lot and gifted a lot along the way. And of course, burned my own face off for years at a time. That's what
I love the flavor. I love the taste. I love what it does. But the thing is that it is a trade commodity. It sounds stupid because we're talking about stuff that they were doing in the turn of the century, turn of the 20th century. They were doing the same stuff and it was no big deal. Everybody had it,
Oh my God, it smells good. Amen. So let's dive. So what you got there, Green Monster, just tell them like it is. I grow a whole shit ton of different kinds of tomatoes, right? And then I'll kind of taste what happens is, it's like a verde. So this is, if you saw it up close, you think, oh, it's a verde salsa, green tomatillos. Yeah. It's actually no tomatillos in that.
It's got some char in it too, looks like, yeah?
Yeah. So I'll take the tomatoes, which are actually adolescent, several different kinds of, almost turning color. They're almost changing their color.
Yeah.
And then I'll take them, I'll slice them in half, and I'll actually roast them on a grill for a good amount of time with all the other good stuff. So literally with the bulbs of garlic, with the onions. Great. Yeah, thank you. With whatever else I want to put in there, jalapeno. In the green, I'll do a lot of serrano jalapeno sometimes too. So there's going to be a couple different kinds of tomato in there, a couple different kinds of jalapeno or serrano pepper. Nothing too killer in there. If you see little flecks of red, that's actually Thai dragon. A couple bit of those little red chilies.
Just a little kick of flavor, a little kick of heat, right?
Yeah, and that is as mild as I've ever made a salsa, I think, right there. That's one of the mildest ones. And
so good.
And what people say about all of my salsas is they like that grilled, charred.
I can taste it right away. That's the first thing. Yeah.
That's like the main compliment I get. And that's my version of a verde right there. So, and that's essentially how I make it.
I'm in love with it. And
all right.
I'm an avid cook, avid chef. I'm always in the kitchen. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I just fully enjoy it. So I'm going to go, I might go a little Emerald Lagasse, a little Gordon Ramsay on your ass right now. But
that's fine.
It actually,
I want to real quick. I just want to say, just because I sent him some salsa doesn't mean he's gonna like it. It might be, you might go, oh no, this might there might be one you don't like.
You fucking sandwich head, get the fuck out of here. It's a terrible British accent, but anyways, the texture is like I'm a big texture and consistency guy when it comes to salsa. This is spot on. Like it's just liquid enough. It's just soft enough. It's got texture. It's got body. It's very good.
All right, bro. I'm trying Niflheim here. It's going into my mouth.
Yeah. So what I do, I grow my peppers from seed to sauce. I start with, just let me know the heat value. Let me know what you think. But that is my mildest one. I basically grow all my peppers and then I cut them all up, ferment them, put them in a jar, saltwater brine for a month or so with onions and garlic. And then I mash it all down. I puree it all, mash it up, and then I separate the mash from the liquid. So then I have a pepper mash of the fermented mix, and then I have the liquid, and then I'll dab that in with a little bit of maybe a touch of vinegar. And that's the thing is like one of the things I hate about hot sauce is the heavy vinegarness. You need a little vinegar to kind of carry that heat, but like a Tabasco is just so vinegar forward, it just takes away from the flavor. So I keep it really mild. I use a little bit of white vinegar, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, dependent, but it's super simple. Peppers, onions, garlic, salt, and vinegar if need be. But there's one hot sauce coming up that was my kind of my Frankenstein, my kind of experiment this year, and we'll go into that one a little bit more. But what do you think? What do you think of that hot sauce?
Dude, this is phenomenal. It's delicious. It's fresh. The smell is amazing. I got to get one more here. This is my third chip.
Jump on it, man.
And by the way, it's like he's super professional. He's got this nice little pourer on top so that you don't you don't pour it all out at once.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with the hot sauce is like when you strain it all out and separate it all out, it is like a water-based consistency. So you do have to thicken it with a little bit of xanthan gum, which is just a thickening agent, and that's pretty common for kitchens. But
this is absolutely delicious. Not mild. Not mild. You said the mildest.
That is my most mild. So you are in trouble, my friend.
It's not mild.
So that one is my homegrown jalapenos and tomatillos, garlic and onion. And the thing is those jalapenos are not store jalapenos, and that's the thing. On a tangent here, but the grocery stores, the ingredients, all the things that we are accustomed to getting are not what are accustomed to normal flavors, right? Like
true.
You assume that a celery tastes like that. But when I grew my celery in the garden, it was a little peppery, it had a little bite to it. It was dark green, like,
oh yeah.
And then the mayonnaise is simple. It's like 3 ingredients. It's like egg, oil, and like salt and pepper to taste. But like in the mayonnaise, you can't find mayonnaise that isn't made with soybean oil. You can't find ingredient. I mean, to be fair, when you do the mass productions and you have all these big things, you got to throw some preservatives in. But at the end of the day, like it's all cut with all this other garbage, So when you taste something for the first time out of your garden, like the tomato taste, the fresh garden tomato taste, you can't find that in the best organic grocery store in the world, because that organic tomato garden or garden tomato out of your garden is 100 times more flavorful, juicy, delicious than any store-bought.
Amen. When I first, got into this a couple years ago, and I made my first batch of homemade marinara tomatoes from the garden, I mean, I was absolutely stunned. I hadn't had marinara that delicious since I was a kid growing up in the garden, maybe, or like some fancy Italian restaurant. If you're used to just getting your stuff from the store, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got their own life, the reasons why they do things. That's their system. But when you get into gardening and growing your own jalapenos, for example, and you try a fresh jalapeno off of the garden, off of the plant, it is so much better than what you get in the store. I mean, it's
consistent too.
It's very consistent. I will say I've had some fluctuations with jalapenos specifically where one's fully loaded with seeds and burning your face up, and then the next one next to it is not quite that at all.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get that variance.
I've had green chili peppers. Like green chilies are usually super mild for me, like, Anaheim roasted chilies, whatever, but super mild. But I've had green chilies that are like hotter than some like Serrano peppers or even like habanero. Like there was points where I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, man, like you gotta enjoy the products and the fruits of your labor, right? I spent most of my summer I mean, especially towards the end of the summer when the winter came in, and in Colorado, for anyone that's familiar with if you are somewhat of a green thumb, you should know your grow zones, right? You should know your grow zones. You should know the time of harvest, time of sowing, time of seeding, all those things. But like in Colorado, it's like it turns on a dime, because it could be 70s all day or for weeks, and then the next week it'll be like close sub-zero 40s, and you got to cover your plants. So I had to last minute like throw some greenhouse coverings over my peppers. My harvest this year was probably a third of what I was expecting because of late blooming of my plants and the frost. So this year I'm starting super early. I've got my seeds going. I'm going to have my seeds going in probably late or maybe early March, mid-March, indoors. And I'm just going to be super gung-ho, and my plants are going to be going strong I'm hoping by beginning of June, they should be well rooted, well established outside, ready to go.
It's funny, not funny actually, but it's interesting that you say that about your yield because my yield was maybe a third to a half of what the years previous
Wow.
was,
Yeah.
which blew my mind. I was a little worried, honestly. And then when I talked to some of my farmer friends that I grew up with who have massive gardens,
Sure.
they said the same thing. Shit just didn't
Interesting.
pan. It was a weird year for a lot of
Okay,
gardens.
so maybe it wasn't just my neck of the woods, but you know what? Put on your hats real quick. Does that have anything to do with what's in the air? Does that have anything to do with aerosol injections? Does it have anything to do with the quote unquote climate crisis that we were told that is going to decimate the planet? You know what I mean? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what they're trying to, how they're trying to control us in ways outside of the norm, right?
I always wonder about that because with with weather control and with geoengineering, I mean they've declassified this essentially. You know, they come out, they've said that they've been spraying all these different things, aluminum, whatever, and you know that ends up in the clouds and it ends up raining on your plants.
And then it goes into the water supply, and then it goes into the soil.
Supply. Yep.
It goes everywhere, you know. So how many years and years of this chemical warfare that they've been doing on us, soft kill stuff, is going to end up affecting what we're doing now. I mean, granted, I spent over $1,000 on premium grade garden soil for going. It looks like I measured it 12 cubic yards of garden, so I had to buy. It was not a cheap bill, but at the same time, I got the best quality I could get, and I just wasn't sure. But now I know. Going into this year, I got all the tools ready, right? So
you learn from one thing and implemented the next. Definitely true. So what do we got next here, dude?
So this one here,
shake well.
I should, right?
Definitely.
I didn't open it all the way yet, but shake well. See, mine should be for the most part pretty well homogenized. It is a sauce, but yours is more of a. You got the thick salsa. chunkies in here, but this one is Tropic Ultimate. Tropic Ultimate. So I'm assuming there's some fruit value in here. Oh,
yes. So I won't lie, I didn't grow the mangoes or the pineapples, but
I didn't grow the garlic in my hot sauce either. Okay.
So that guy there, and this is like I get that's stepping it up heat wise. So now you're
super good.
Nice. Yeah. So it's a sweet and a hot, right? So the sweet is derived from the grilled pineapple and the fresh mango, organic, whatever. And then of course, combined with your traditional ingredients. Now the difference here is instead of like lime juice to seal the deal, I use lemon juice. And there's definitely there's Moruga's scorpion, maybe just a little bit of Moruga scorpion, but there's ghost chili in there.
Yeah, I can taste the ghost.
Probably habanero as well. Probably some habanero. I don't do a lot of green chilies in that one. I like to keep the color towards that yellow orange. So habaneros, ghost peppers. Nice. So that's essentially what you got going on there.
Delicious, dude.
Is that good? Hell yeah.
This is the kind of heat I like. If I could fill a hot tub, like a hot tub with this and just like sit in it, I mean,
you would probably get hurt.
Minus my private parts, you know, but this is, I don't mind the heat, baby.
Nice.
Very good.
Glad you like it, man. Okay.
Holy
so
cow.
what do we got on my end here, which is similar in color? We're kind of uniquely in the same color world.
Yeah, it is, right? So that one's
Jotunheim.
Oh wait, is that Jotunheim or Midgard?
Jotunheim.
So which one? What are the other two you have?
I have one sec. Tell me if I went out of order here.
Yeah, because there might be one more that's not as hot as that one.
I got Midgard and I got Muspelheim.
Yep.
Should I do Midgard?
Do Midgard next because that one's the Serrano Tomatillo, which is just going to be a step up from the green.
Good call. Okay.
So the Niflheim. Niflheim is the realm of ice and primordial energy, right? So that's the most mild one, right? Midgard. And I do want to add a couple more. I only made 6 this year. I do want to make a Chipotle one. I do want to make a ghost pepper one. So there are a couple others that I'm going to be putting in there, but Midgard is going to be like it's the middle realm. It's Earth. It's the mid tier of the 9 realms. And I think to me, I think this one is all around. If you want to dip your toes into my kind of hot sauces, this is the one that's going to have just enough spice for the layperson, but not too bland for the ones that like it hot. So it's definitely a little step up. If you thought Niflheim had a kick, I think this is going to have a little bit more of a kick, but it's going to be more well-rounded because those Serranos, I had two different, Serranos can grow, they can go green and red. So I put green and red Serranos. That's how they got that kind of greenish orangey color.
Yeah, but, you get like one red one for like 20 green ones, it seems like. And they're so uniquely yummy. Yep. Oh man, that's fucking good too.
And the Serrano pepper is the best all around, kind of like I said, the pepper that wants to cater to the hotheads, but make sure that the blue hairs aren't going to get burned off too.
Now I'm not sure if it's me or maybe just because the first one was hotter than I thought. But this feels almost the same heat level. It's very first one.
It's very similar. Yes.
Yeah.
It is very similar. It's not much different because Serranos and jalapenos. And I think you might be right in saying that those jalapenos are a little bit, my one that I made this year, a little bit hotter. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They're in that same ballpark. The next one you want to try though, I don't know if you just want to go for the double Dutch over here, but I can try a hot sauce here or whatever. But the next one that you'd want to try would be the Jotunheim, which is that Frankenstein one that I was doing.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure I got that.
Oh, yeah, that was the one. Really that was the kind of yellow looking one.
Bam.
And that one, I think I think this one's gonna be your favorite one.
All right.
So that one is made with Thor's hammer peppers.
What the hell's Thor's hammer peppers? I never heard of that.
They are a variety of super hot exotic peppers.
Ooh.
They're very much. They've got the Maruga scorpion tail, but they grow like a ghost pepper, and they're peach. They're totally peach in color. That's their full ripened state. And
ooh, that's got a great smell.
So what I did with this one is I mixed Colorado local Palisade peaches. So I made a batch of I cooked down some Palisade peaches, cooked down some apples, mixed in some sugar and honey from my personal beehive that I keep. So it's got all those sweet components, the fruity components, but it's got a secondary kick. So it's sweet on the front, and then it's gonna come and bite your ass.
That is so good and so unique, dude.
Yeah.
I've never tasted a hot sauce like this. I mean, peach and apple cooked down.
Yeah.
And it's got the heat.
It's coming in now. You're about to, I see it. No, but see, that's what that's what I enjoy. I enjoy that. I grow exotic peppers, right? And you're in for a treat for the next one. But that one, the Jotunheim, I had it on my breakfast eggs, like my eggs.
Oh, man.
Like, if anybody's had like when you like mix like your bacon and your waffles and eggs, and like you get that all the syrup kind of gets at the bottom of the pan, bottom of your plate, like when you're eating your eggs and syrup,
yes,
like it has that sweet, savory, syrupy taste.
I was gonna say, yeah, like a syrup almost.
Yeah. And I think the honey helped with that a lot. And I also sent you a jar of my local honey, but I didn't. That honey is so. It was my first year doing a beehive, and I think beehives are super important for the community.
Are we talking about this?
Yeah, so that is my honey from my hive, but I also mixed in the pepper mash from the next hot sauce you'll taste.
I was gonna say there's more in here than honey.
Yeah. So I was gonna send you just the straight up honey, but I was like, no, I think he's gonna like the hot honey, and the hot honey is so fantastic. It's almost like a jam. And we'll try that later. I'm about to dip into your hot sauce, your salsa here. But one of the most important things, and if I encourage everyone to do this, is to start researching how to tend bees. Even if you don't like clean the hives and get the honeycombs, which I highly recommend you do. I mean, it's not hard to do. It's literally just some pallets of wood with like slats, and they'll grow and they'll just do their own thing. Find your local apiary. It's called an apiary, but you get your queen, you get your colony, and those bees will travel upwards of 5-10 miles sometimes and pollinate, and that's important for everybody, man.
Have you read or like researched on all the mysterious health benefits people have when they are around bees and beehives?
Really?
Have you ever looked into that?
No,
dude. crazy science to look into. It's one of, I don't know if it's like, well, super well documented, but from my little bit of homework I've done, there's all kinds of folks that swear by it, and all kinds of stuff out there. But yeah, essentially, when you're around, something about the frequencies that they all give off, something about if you're like surrounded by buzzing bees and you're in beehives, apparently there's these frequencies that you're just awashed in, and they heal your body. They're known to heal your body. Yeah. And there's literally sanctuaries and places where people go, like spiritual retreats, where they go and they live amongst bees to like heal their like inner demons and all this kind of stuff. And it's hard to talk when my face is on fire, but
right, I know.
You get what I'm saying.
That's the fun part.
Definitely something to look into, though. Since you're embarking on, I'm scared of bees, so I don't really want to deal with that. No,
yeah, okay, but well, like I have a bee tattoo on my neck because in high school I was known as Corey B, which is original. It's such an original nickname because my last name is Blair, but I was known as Corey B. But everyone called me Corey B, and that was it. But I kind of took it into another direction, and I did the whole beehive, the bee colony thing. But I mean, it kind of makes sense. It kind of resonates, no pun intended, but like the bees, hum and their wings flap, and like,
yeah,
they do that vibration comes out, and it very well could be, I'd have to look into that.
It's trippy stuff. It's legit. I would definitely dig into it. This one so far, by far, my favorite. They're all great as but this one, something about that mixture of sweetness with fucking heat is great.
Yeah, that's why I was like, because I sent you the first three, and I was like, damn it, I gotta get him that other one, especially after I saw what you sent me, and I was like, oh, he's got the fruit here, he's got the sweet heat there. I was like, he needs to have the sweet heat of my version. But on that note, sweet heat, I did shake up the Thai sweet heat that I have here in my hand, and can you that looks good too. This one looks like it's going to be a little spicier. But
yeah, okay. So
fill me in on what you got going on here.
So out of the four jars I sent you, that one I'll just own up to it. I've had some variants between. So I've had like one jar of that someone said, hey, this isn't that, this is doable. And she's not someone that can really handle a ton of heat. But then I open up mine and I'm like, no, there's some fucking hot stuff. So it might be hit or miss. I'm not sure if it's going to be as hot as the last one. But there's pineapple in addition. It's like a traditional salsa. So that's got tomatoes. It's got a handful of different kind of peppers. I believe jalapeno serrano, a handful of other real hot ones, ghost chili, habanero. But there's the addition of the pineapple, some sugar, and I try to get a little sweetness going out of it too. So it depends. I've had one of those turn out to be apparently not very hot, and then when I've opened them, they've been pretty hot. So
yeah.
You tell me, fill me in on what fill us in on what you're tasting there, because that one's kind of a question mark.
This one, I can definitely taste. You got the char and smoke on all of them. It's great. They're all great. But the salsa, yeah, like you said, it's very traditional style salsa. It's got a good consistency. It's something I'd seen in a Mexican restaurant, right?
Yes, yes.
And the sweetness is there. The spiciness is, I would say, balanced with the sweet. It's not very spicy.
Okay.
I would say the Tropic Ultimate's definitely spicier than that one.
Okay.
Yeah, a step different. And I think if you said you put marugas in the Tropic Ultimate, did you put marugas in the last one?
I think maybe like a few for the whole batch. So like it's in there, but it's not like a ton of it.
But those,
if I remember correctly,
I feel like those ones, it depends on, and like I don't know if you weigh them out. I don't know if you like measure, blah, blah, blah. I know when I do my batches, I throw all of my peppers of this type in, and like, that's what it is, like for my hottest sauce, which I did not send you because I ran out of them. I made 15 bottles and they were all gone within 24 hours. I made over 75 bottles and they were all accounted for within 36 hours.
Nice.
It was kind of insane. I mean, yeah, it's a blessing. But I feel sad that I don't have any more to offer people as it comes. But if anyone wants to follow me on my social medias, my Instagram, Break the Chains Media, or watch the websites or, breakthechains.media or BitChute or wherever, YouTube. I will post when I have more charitable donations and gifting of my hot sauces, right? So but this one is fantastic though. Like I have no complaints with this one. I would let my son just chow down on this because he likes hot sauce, he likes salsas. This is a perfect
Nice.
well-rounded sauce that I think anyone would enjoy, and I'm totally down with that.
Yeah.
Did you put any? So is this Thai sweet heat or that sweet heat?
That sweet heat.
That
I'm sorry.
sweet heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
So, but that's a thought for the future. Maybe put Thai peppers in here.
Yeah.
If you put those little Thai chilies in here,
there might be some in there.
I
was
gonna say if you weigh the Thai chilies in this and specific to Thai chilies in this, you might get that heat that's a consistent heat all around. Because those Thai chilies will sneak up from like they're the goddamn Viet Cong. They'll come out of a foxhole and fucking cut your ankles. Like those peppers are spicy.
Yeah, those are freaking awesome. I love those. And they grow so interesting. If you ever seen those Thai chilies, they grow upward in kind of like a big wild arrangement,
like a flower like this. They don't, because most chili, most peppers will hang like this, but these chilies, and like there are other varieties like the Tabasco chilies, like the red cayennes, they'll all grow like this. But more often than not, as they grow, they'll kind of flip over when they're like ripe. But the Thais will always be upside down.
This is good shit, man. This is what life's about, right?
We're crushing it right now. You are so out of the three so far, the Thor's hammer, the Jotunheim. Jotunheim was the peach Thor's hammer. That one's the realm of the giants. Do you think that one is the hottest so far?
Yes, that's the hottest of the three. Yep. Yeah. And very, very good. I mean, just honestly, just the idea of honey, peach, and apple mixed in there. That's a good balance. That's so like I would never think of that. I would never consider that. But and you're doing it with your own honey. That's so bad.
And I
so unique.
Like I said, that one's a Frankenstein. That one was kind of like a science experiment. And I still might need to tweak the recipe just a little bit next season because I wanted to specifically have it be exclusively Palisade peaches from Colorado and Thor's hammer peppers and sugar, sweeten it up. The apples were an afterthought. Like the apples, I was like, I needed more sweetness. And then the honey was even a little bit of an afterthought. I was like, I need more sweetness. So it might, the recipe might change next year, but I think I'm going to keep the honey in that too. Cause I like the way the honey holds through with that. But if you thought that was hot, the realm of the giants, Jotunheim, you're about to open up Muspelheim, the fire realm, the realm of fire, primordial energy.
Yeah, this definitely has the appearance of something that's going to burn my anus tomorrow or tonight. We'll find out.
You know what? Cool. You'll be surprised because, and I think anyone that's ever tasted my hot sauces has said like, these have they're the best flavored hot sauces, and they're not like the traditional, like just vinegar. Like it's not a Frank's Red Hot. It's not a Tabasco. It's not even a Cholula. It has its own description to it. And that one is,
oh my God.
Yeah. So that one is Trinidad Moruga scorpions, Butch T scorpions, and probably 2-to-1 ratio of those super hot peppers to roasted red peppers. So I use roasted red peppers, Trinidad scorpions, Moruga scorpions, Butch T scorpions, all varieties, garlic, onion. Yeah. And that one,
that's fucking hot.
That one will come right in there. It'll just, hello.
Ooh. Oh, is that good though?
Yeah. It makes you want more. Like the burn is there, but then you're just like, I want more. Like, dude, on like pizza or like anything.
On my eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is. No, there's a very unique, I don't know if it's like the smell with the taste. There's a unique essence to this that is, something I've never tasted before in a hot sauce.
Sure.
I don't know exactly what it is. It's fucking amazing.
Would you just saying with just this one or all of them?
Just this. It's distinct with this one.
Yeah.
It's distinct with this one. And it might be, I mean, I think it's the Trinidad Scorpion itself, and maybe not the taste, but the smell that you get with it, the essence that you get with it. It lingers and it does something.
That roasted red pepper, I think, is a good carrier. Because the roasted red pepper is super mild, but it also it acts like a catalyst to like hold the heat. You know what I mean?
That might be adding to that too. It's distinct. Like when I first got a whiff of it, I was like, oh, that's a really unique smell. And then it kind of carries into the flavor. The flavor is fantastic. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it, man. That hot sauce is my favorite sauce. I've been making that one for 3 years now. I pretty much got the recipe down, and
it's good.
Yeah, it's a hot one, right? And like I don't have a Scoville unit counter, and like I know there's ways to count, and I would love to get an idea on how hot they are. Eventually, on my labels, I do want to put like a heat meter, but right now I just kind of like people. I assume will have their own judgment.
Do you have can you share a little bit about, because there's a difference between salsa and hot sauce.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your fermenting process? Like
sure.
You cook stuff down, you combine, it sounds like you strain it or whatnot, sieve it.
I actually don't cook anything.
Okay,
There's
so break it down.
Cooked about this.
Give us a little overview one more time of your process, maybe specifically that fermenting where you cap it and set it and all that.
So the importance of fermenting, you can ferment literally anything. You could ferment your foot if you wanted to cut it off, but let's not do that. The importance of fermenting is that it creates probiotics. So basically what you're doing is you're creating a probiotic environment, and those probiotics eat away the sugars of whatever is in the can that you put it in. It's a saltwater brine. And it's super easy to look up. I use a 5% brine mix, and I just use pickling salt or kosher salt. I don't use table salt, but pickling or kosher. And then you put that in with warm water. But you cut up. I've fermented. Kimchi is a ferment.
I fucking love kimchi.
Kombucha is a ferment. So there's a lot of different. I believe apple cider vinegar even has that's a ferment too. Look at that face.
I'm dizzy.
It's so adorable. But so the ferment is super valuable for anybody that wants to homestead, that wants to can, that wants to preserve their things long term. It's not the same as canning, because canning you will use cooking and pressure and sealing, right? It's much different. But the ferment, I would basically take my peppers, wash straight out of the garden, wash them down. You know, basically as they grow, as they harvest, I either freeze them, store them all together, or I can, I get a big enough batch. Then I cut up all the onions, all the garlic, all the peppers into I don't know, maybe like quarter size pieces, or like, inch or two size pieces, enough for the water so there's no air pockets. The most important thing is you can't have air in the ferment, because if you have air, it will go bad, because
it goes bad. Yep.
You have to leave it at room temperature for like a few weeks. So what you do is you put all of what you want in a big mason jar, I've got gallon jars and half gallon jars. So I'll put all my cut up onions, garlic, pepper, whatever I want to ferment in there, pack it all as tight as I can. And then I'll fill that with the saltwater brine, and then I put it's called a boat, but it's a smaller lid that fits on top of your product. And then you have the sealed, the lid, the sealable lid for the jar. But the boat kind of keeps everything submerged in the liquid. You have to keep it all submerged in the salt water. So then you put the big lid on, then you have a bubble valve. So it'll be like a sink valve, so as you seal the lid, set it on a counter, room temperature, and let it sit for, like I said, about a month. But as that sits there, all that salt water and everything in there, the natural biotics of the plants, whatever you put in there, the salt water starts to create bacteria, which begins to ferment your food. It takes away the sugar content. It kind of homogenizes everything. It creates great probiotics for your body, for your gut. You can make pickles with this. I've made fermented cauliflower, fermented green beans, fermented carrots. You can do all kinds of stuff, munchy food, but it's a super healthy thing to keep your gut in balance. And like, I know a lot of hot sauces use that because it's a good way to pickle, I keep saying pickle, but it's fermenting, but you know what I mean. But that's how I make the sauce. And so I'll take that ferment. Once the ferment's done, then I take all the contents out, and I'll cut it all up, and then I'll make it separate the mash from the liquid, and then I add the vinegar and kind of balance it all out. But that's kind of that. But fermenting is what brings all of that heat, all of that, because it ends up being, because like when it's done, like I'll take a taste of like just the ferment liquid, like the salt water that after everything, all the peppers are sat. I'll tell you what, like I had to have my mom watch my puppy while I was doing all this with the peppers, because the whole house, like literally, I had windows open. I was wearing goggles, like gloves, because like it was hot. Like it was just hot. You cutting up and doing all the stuff with the peppers. So you gotta be wary once you get to a certain Scoville of super hot peppers. But when the fermenting stuff is great.
When you're separating the liquid from the mash, to put after it's all fermented, you're gonna put it in the jar or in this bottle. Is it just like a regular sieve? Or are you using like a cheesecloth or whatever to get it all?
I can use a cheesecloth. So I do have a big bowl sieve that I'll just kind of like scoop the pureed contents, and then I spoon and mush it all through the sieve, and then that'll separate into a bottom bowl, and then I'll take that stuff, I'll put it to the side, and then one last time I'll take all that second time in a cheesecloth and just
yes, you're really
get that last little bit. Sometimes I'll throw a little vinegar in that as I'm doing it to kind of like get a little bit more push through it, and then I'll keep that mash on the side. I sent you a bottle of that pure mash, and as long as that, so that is the pure mash from from the hottest sauce. So like that's hotter than that's like Naga Mariche peppers, Dragon's Breath peppers, and Pepper X. That's from Asgard, the hottest sauce I have that I sold out of.
So we'll get to this, but like what do you recommend someone does with this mash? Put it into a vat of chili? Yep. Okay.
So like that's probably 3 or 4 ounces. And I would say, just for good measure, keep that mash in the fridge, but don't let it sit too long. Cause like I said, since it's been out, I've kept my mash in my fridge for over a year, but I've also made sure that the air is all compressed down and like it's all kind of pushed out. So do with it as you will, but I'll put like a half a teaspoon in like, maybe a cup or two of guacamole. Like I'll spice up my guacamole, or I'll spice up my salsas. Like
what this would go good in?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. Me and the missus, we make homemade pho.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and I'm a freak. I always put insane amount of chilies when I'm serving it. When I'm about to dive in, I'll throw in all the good stuff, siracha, dude. A heap of this up in there.
That's a total replacement for like a sriracha. Like, but I'm telling you right now, like that, like if I were, and I'm not saying you have to taste test that. I want to taste test your what the fuck salsa, but maybe if you do feel so inclined, if you do want to taste that, I would recommend a taste test of no bigger than probably half the amount of your pinky nail, like as a taste test.
All right.
And then if you wanted to add it to like, it's better to add a little bit and then need more than to like grab a heaping tablespoon and throw it in a crock of chili and make that chili so damn hot that you can't fucking eat it.
Right.
But
good point.
It is hot. It is delicious. But that's more for cooking and adding heat to dishes rather than just like, I feel masochistic today. Scoop. Like it's not like that. But this one here, I've been talking about all my hot sauces. This one is your claim to fame, and I've been shaking it up. I'm very excited because if you can't tell, I'm a man of heat. Like those hot sauces, and I'm excited to taste this one.
All right, so do a nice heaping scoop there. Do it right for the crowd.
That smells great. That smells great. This one's seriously what the fuck.
Jesus Christ.
There you go, baby. That's all for you.
So there's no kidding. That one is fully loaded. That's one where when I made it, I literally tasted it. I was like, what the fuck did I just make? I realized it's kind of, that's everything. That's Moruga scorpions. That's ghost chili, but it's also one of my new favorite peppers. I don't know if you grow this or tried it, but you should. It's called chocolate habanero. You ever seen those brown habaneros?
Nope.
There's some of those babies in there. And I think there's also the, I added a little bit of Reaper dust to it. There's a slight hit of, I actually have, some jarred Reaper dust. So just to make it stupid hot, I threw that in there. So break it down. What are you tasting right now?
Well, it's fantastic. It is exactly what I would imagine. Oh, seriously, what the fuck to be. Like it is balanced. It's got that tomato flavor. It's still very salsa. You know,
traditional red.
Yeah, it's not like it's out there to be like just pure pepper, you know, heat. But that initial tomato onion brings you in nice, and then I can taste the habanero. You said the chocolate habanero is I feel like that's a pretty solid component because all the chocolate pepper, the chocolate varieties, they do end up getting a sweeter component almost.
Yeah, and, very unique flavor.
I have a couple different. I have excuse me. Ooh. The chocolate apocalypse scorpions that I have. I wasn't able to grow any last year. The bad yield, but I do have chocolate ghost peppers and chocolate scorpion peppers, and I'm hoping to grow next year. But the chocolate habaneros in this are just fantastic. And I can taste the Reaper dust. The Reaper dust is what holds it here. It's just like a steamroller. And like, this is, dude, my roommate and I are going to smash this in probably 2 days. Like,
nice.
We love it.
Nice, dude. That's no fucking
so good.
Good shit. Okay, dude. I popped the top on this hot honey right here.
Go for it. Yeah.
And this smells like heaven. This smells like I want to put this on wings. I want to eat this on chicken wings.
Like you can do it like a little glaze. It's very, I didn't send you a lot, but it's definitely
you're gonna send me a lot more probably.
It's definitely glazable. It's definitely toastable. It's definitely, you know, but that honey is it's one of a kind because that honey.
Real honey, dude.
Real. I mean, not like other honeys aren't real, but like this, there's nothing else to it. I didn't heat it. I didn't do anything to it. All we did with the honey was crumble it from the honeycomb and do a unfiltered separation. Like we didn't heat it. We didn't do anything to it. All raw, natural honey and fermented peppers. And like I said, that's with the
phenomenal.
That's with the same pepper mash from the hot sauce you just had. But because that honey cuts it down so much, it creates such a better balance.
That's fucking good, dude. That is going in. That could be added to like barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
You could grill stuff with that. Phenomenal, dude. Very sweet too. Like I'm actually surprised by the sweetness because damn, I don't know, man. It's fucking amazing. I don't know anything about, you know, making honey, processing honey, but it's bomb. I was gonna say this is like 1 or 2 steps away. You could make like some of those Asian, you know, sticky sauces, those Asian sticky sweet sauces that you see sometimes. That is what that could be.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when I was like stirring it up. I was like, that looks like that bang bang shit that you see at the restaurants, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's phenomenal. I'm racking my brain with how I'm gonna put this on chicken I got thawing and all kinds of stuff. So
I would say what you want to do. Well, what you have the option because you got that mash. I gave you that mash. So if you got yours local honey, because because what's important about honey is if you eat the honey,
Mm,
you have to it's always best to eat the honey in your region, because
true.
those bees are going to give you the pollination of the local area, which also builds and your antihistamines, your allergens. It boosts your immunity.
Yep.
So local honey is important to find and source. So my challenge to you there, sir, is to take the mash that I gave you, find a couple pounds of from your local honey hive or your local apiary, get that honey, put a nice, you can take a big scoop of that mash, the pure mash, and mix it with maybe a couple cups of honey, and you can make your own little Thai sweet heat, so it's totally doable, and it'll be honey from your local area, supporting local community, right?
Boom, dude. This is so good, because hopefully the world, whoever's watching this or whatnot, can kind of understand that and extrapolate that there's so much that you can do with with some homegrown ingredients, whether it's honey, whether it's peppers, whether it's tomatoes. The sky is limitless. I will say this too. Here's something I never thought of that someone told me that they did with my salsa. I gave them a jar. It was like one of these traditional red ones like you got there. And, this person said, oh, I'm going to mix it with some cream cheese. I said, what? I never thought of that.
Bro, you never done that?
No, I guess I'm out of the loop on this one. So she took
man,
it.
That's a secret. That's a secret.
Yeah, I guess, dude. I mean, I hate to be called out, but it is what it is. I never tried it. So she told me she mixes, one of these super hot ones I gave her with the cream cheese to cut the heat, whatever, but keep the flavor. Yeah. And she said that's her, her addiction, if you will. And I'm like, I never fucking thought of that. You can
cut it with cream cheese. You can cut it with sour cream.
All good ideas.
Sour cream kind of changes the flavor a little bit because it is the soured cream, right?
Sure.
But yeah, man, like when you get into the realm of culinary, are you gonna try to go for it?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna try.
All right, yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, only a little, like I would say at your leisure, but I would say about half the size of your pinky nail. But that's what's gonna really get you that flavor. Smell it though. You can smell that heat right away, dude. And it's gonna have the flavor of, it's gonna have that flavor profile of the last hot sauce, but it's gonna be spicier. I would say scoop it with the chip and then just kind of try the mash on its own. It's not gonna carry the heat like the hot sauce, but it is gonna be spicy. You know what I mean? So I would say just scoop it with the chip and then put the mash on the chip on your tongue, and then go for it. And then if it gets hot, eat the chip. But it is hot without a doubt. So you get the gold star award for doing what I do, because that's that real heat. But then
that's good.
But now that flavor to add to whatever you're looking to add to, right?
That would be so good in pho. That would
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. It'll
that's good.
That, my friends, is the dragon's breath. That's that dragon's breath pepper. See that face?
I'm putting that away.
If you still frame on his face right there, that's the dragon's breath pepper coming out of his pores. But it is a good heat, and you have to be careful with it.
At first, I was like, oh, I could take another little bit, and then bam,
it'll hit you. So,
is that good?
But now tying it all together. Now how that's gonna taste with your how you can add that to different dishes, and like your friend was doing with your salsas, how it's going to improve your wide variety of cooking skills, right? And like one of the things I do is I'll mix for holidays. My dad's always done it, but he'll mix he'll either mix jalapenos or green chilies, depending, cranberry sauce and cream cheese, and he'll mix it all together into a dip. And it is a phenomenal, spicy, sweet, creamy. It checks off all the boxes,
I'll have to try that.
Even if you took that mash and made a queso with that, right? Get some bomb ass cheese, throw it all together, maybe maybe a can of tomatoes or whatever, and then
all right,
throw in like a half a tablespoon of that hot, it'll be gone.
Phenomenal, dude. So let me just ask you. So if you were selling one of these, what would you sell one of these little canisters of the mash, which can go a long way. This could last you for a long time, different things. So what a value, purchase point would you put on here?
So without going into the legalese of like just making sure like it's preserved and like, if I do go to market, make sure it's going to be able to at least last a little while, because right now that's just authentic. Use it, and if it goes bad, it goes bad, because I don't add preservatives to it. But it does last a while. Like I said, in my fridge, I still have mine over a year. A 4-ounce jar like that of mash, I mean, maybe $15, depending. Probably. I think that's a good price point for it. Totally. I take suggested donations for the hot sauce is like 10. But like I said, I'm not selling. Nothing of this is selling. Disclaimer. I'm not a vendor. I'm not a food store person. I do not sell any products. I only take suggested donations for gifts.
You're not going to sell out to Kraft Foods?
No, sirree, Bob. It's all with these brazos right here, amigo. But and then the honey, the hot honey. So you have two options with the honey. We gave away the honey pure honey just as gifts, either 4-ounce jars or 8-ounce jars. I think the price per ounce of honey is astronomical. I mean, I don't know what's more valuable, chicken eggs or honey, but but the 4-ounce jar of honey, I would probably average guesstimate at probably $20. It really depends though, because I don't know exactly, because it is a fancy food, so to speak, but I do know like a big like 3-pound jar of honey is like $25. But you're also buying local. You're buying from the community. You're buying from someone who does it for themselves.
An artisan, local artisan.
Exactly. So you're buying more than just the brand. Buying more. You're putting food on someone's table. You're helping your fellow community out. And these are the things that we have to do, and to resource out more is find ways within Racine, within my area, Arvada, Colorado, out here, where we can network with people who build and make and create and sponsor each other. Right. This year, I'm going to try to go gung ho on blacksmithing. I know I've been talking about that for a while, but like, I finally got a forge figured out. I got an anvil. I got a couple other tools I need to put together, but that's another trade. It's another skill that, like, I've obviously have the form for it. I might as well go into it. But I enjoy, and then we'll see where that road takes me. But I'm on top of that. I'm going to be gardening. I'm going to be doing the garden, doing the food, doing all these things, staying busy. And not only am I staying busy, but I'm trying to instill these kind of behaviors into the next generation, into my son, into the youth, because this is what's important, because they have been ostracized. They have been sequestered from the means of how things are put on their table, right? They don't understand how you buy, just because you buy socks and underwear from the big box stores, that's not where they come from. They're made in a sweatshop in Malaysia or Taiwan or wherever it is, and they don't understand this geopolitical, this geographic, economic chaos that happens with all of our stuff. And we need to resource ourselves back to local communities, back to where it begins. Us, we have the power.
Love it. And you said something that pricked my ears. I think, just started thinking about it, and it's so true. One of my absolutely favorite things about being a parent is when, the peppers, the tomatoes, the plant, they're all coming to life. My son has watched the whole process, from when the ground thaws out to, okay, I'm turning the soil to, okay, we're laying down some organic soil, whatever it is, some compost, and then planting everything, watching it grow. And then when when he gets to help me harvest, when he gets to help me pull those peppers and those tomatoes, and just the fun of doing that in the hot summer air is like probably one of the best moments as a parent.
Oh yeah.
And then having him learn to value exactly that, like it's hard work and you got to do this, you got to pull the weeds, and then you got to take, now what are you going to do with all these tomatoes? We got to make a sauce, and that takes time. And then he's tasting that marinara, let's say, on something, and he can go, oh my gosh. And he actually is starting to, he's only 7, but he's definitely already finding that appreciation for nature. For the first time in a long time, I went hunting and I got a deer this year.
Excellent.
Which is like, his concept of that was whatever until I cooked him his first venison steak. Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, now nothing compares to that in his mind.
Yeah.
And just watching this is some of the most rewarding stuff I've ever done as a human being. And we're doing it in the midst of this, World War III happening around us. It's so surreal. The two worlds that are parallel with each other, and the potential futures that they both bring for people, for you as a human to decide for yourself where you want to be. It's not all about like, oh, you got to go become 100% sustainable, get off the grid. Like, you're going to find the balance that makes the most sense for you as a person. That is life. You, in your area, there might be only X, Y, and Z that's even possible, but understand that nature has provided so many tools, so many gifts that are right there, and anyone can dive in and begin learning how to get these things and build these things for themselves.
Exactly. And it takes, and like you were saying, it's seeing there's not even a way to really describe it outside of the feeling you get as a parent to see your child like holding something that was created by their efforts, by like, a drawing something or making something out of Legos is something fantastic and amazing. But like you cultivated this from seed to product to whatever it is, and you did that yourself. And then you get that earned sense of just satisfaction. And like, I don't know your traditions when you go hunting, but I haven't been hunting in a very long time. I feel very out of loop, but I'm going to try to go this year. But one of the things I try to do is when I go hunting is if and when I do get a kill, I will, you obviously got to, field dress it and take it and do all what you do on the scene there. But I will definitely, I usually do like a little ceremony with the heart, and I bury the heart and I put that back into the earth, and then I quarter it, or however I take the animal, that's mine. But the animal still belongs to the earth, right? We are one with the earth. We try to respect that balance, right? And that's something that I definitely try to instill in everything I do, and being a part of that is just something that people have lost touch with. And that's when you can kind of resonate with the crazy blue-haired vegans that eat these plant processed foods, plant in two different ways, whether it's a plant that grows or a plant of a factory. But these are plant processed foods that
good point.
That they claim is better than eating an animal. Now, to be fair, factory farming of pigs and cattle and sheep and chickens, it's horrible. I've seen the videos. I'm sure everyone knows the videos I'm talking about. And it's not a effective way to be in harmony with the earth. It's very negative energy. And I try to explain that to my vegan friends, and like, I've never had a bad argument with a vegan, but like, it's always, well, I just do it because I don't like I don't like hurting animals. I agree with you, but have you ever tried to be a part of that cycle, be a part of the system that you hate so much, take the reins of that system for yourself and be the one who cultivates those animals, right? You can have your own chickens. You can take care of your own goats. I mean, like, well, let's be honest. Taking care of a goat is, you're going to need a penitentiary fence 15 feet high with barbed wire, because those goats will go anywhere and destroy damn near everything. They'll eat a tin can. It doesn't even matter. But start with chickens. It's a very simple thing to do. And look into your local city codes But I mean, my city code, as long as you don't have a rooster, as long as you don't have a rooster, you can have up to 10 chickens in your
Wow.
backyard, you know, and you can have, and that's daily eggs.
And the best eggs.
Yeah. Every 3 months, you can take a couple from the flock. But as long as you get in the know and understand that kind of aspect of agriculture, what's it called? It's called husbandry, right? Is that
Husbandry.
husbandry for all those Minecrafters out there? It's husbandry. But yeah, so but this is what we do, right? We have to take the reins and try to separate ourselves from a system that we hate so much. Instead of just bickering about how much it sucks, do something about it. And this is what we're doing in 2023, baby.
Yeah, I feel a huge wave of of detaching my body mind system from the system. But that's what I see happening, and we're already watching that system fall apart. I mean, it's been falling apart, but look what's going on. You could pull Twitter and all that stuff going on. I mean, the normies are being woken up. It's hilarious watching them wake up and fight about something, bicker about some of this shit. I like it. I laugh at it. It's
hilarious.
It's so funny.
It's like sitcom. It's like sitcom TV show for us, because I don't watch TV, but I'll go onto Twitter and see what the common ruckus is today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that look to, instead of looking to themselves for the hero, the alpha, got all the Andrew Tates of the world, or the Jordan Petersons, or the Elon Musk, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's so many people that fit into this false mold of like, this is what it means to be the alpha. This is what it means to be the archetypal hero, right? But what are you doing outside of consuming what they're regurgitating? What are you doing outside of just listening? You become the simp, if you want to use common nomenclature. You are simping to their system, right?
Yep.
It comes down to just like, I don't consider myself any of these names, the alpha, the hero, the dynamic of the best person. All I know is if I lead by example, if I do the right things, if I build up my skill sets, do the right things, make the right decisions, and teach that to my son, and show that within my community, I don't need to carry the title of the alpha. I don't need Andrew Tate and his Lamborghinis to tell me how to do that. I just know that I'm doing that because I'm producing, I'm building, I am being strong enough within my own self-worth and my own self-being. I don't need that bullshit coming from anybody else to tell me otherwise. Now, to be fair, there are lessons to be learned, just like anything. You learn lessons from the Bible, you learn lessons from school, you learn lessons all around us. It's not like you can't take some things that Jordan Peterson says. I've got his book. I read it. It's good. It's a good book, but it's not my mantra. It's not my credo, so to speak. I take what I can, and I evolve, and then I do something with it here in my heart, and that's where I move forward.
Yeah. A big part of awakening, and this brings up a whole nother thing, but like a big part of awakening, I think, for people is taking a little bit from everywhere. I mean, you're taking in data all day. And here we are in the 2023, information's everywhere. Even more like censorship seems to be, going away per se. It seems huge efforts to get rid of censorship and create a digital bill of rights and all this stuff. So you eventually learn that you're going to take a little tidbit from everything and try to chew on it and digest it and run it through your own personal experience filter and see what it means to you. One of the big, beautiful things, and this came up in the holiday gatherings with certain family gatherings where, let's just say, I'm the weirdest guy there. I have I'm the crazy guy, right? And it is what it is. But hearing some of these folks now, even in close family and friend circles, start to talk about things that 6 months ago, 2 years ago, you name it, were totally not something they would ever bring up, not something they'd ever think about, not something they'd ever ask. seeing what's being posted on certain platforms by people that like you would, you've been down that rabbit hole, a long time ago, and they're starting to go down it. I mean, what's beautiful about this entire last couple of years is that it made people go, oh my God, I have to think for myself. I can't just blanket trust one source anywhere. This guy, this personality, that, the mainstream media, the alternative media, you could get lost in any of those places. There's traps in every single aspect of the infosphere. You have to find it. Finally, it's being shown to people that they have to say, okay, I'm going to decide what resonates with me. I'm going to decide, I'm going to use X, Y, and Z for sources or whatever. I'm going to be open to all potential ideas and sources. And then let's find what works for me. Like, what do I think deep down? I have to think before I say what is. Right. And that's a beautiful thing to see happening to, quote, normies and many other people in the last several years, and especially this last couple months, man.
Yep.
It's been crazy.
It's funny because there's so many normies in my friends groups. I know I've known their position for a very long time, but now they're kind of reaching out to me, asking me some questions, being like, hey, what do you think about this? Or, hey, did you hear about what was going on with that? And I was like, oh, sweetheart, sit over here out on Papa's lap, and I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about MK Ultra. I'll tell you a story about the monster from Jekyll Island. I'll fill you in, man. I'll fill you in. But
and sometimes you gotta be like, man, you're not ready for 100%, but let me give you a little drop because
let me give you the crumb so that you can follow the trail. Because that's what I had to do, right? We all found something that was like, that doesn't seem right to me. And then that led us into where we are today.
And it brings, it's so amazing because, and I love that we can both speak from kind of the content creator side of it, where we've been smashing the narrative, if you will. It's pretty amazing to watch folks just begin to open their eyes and begin to empower themselves. And, you have to be prepared. You have to give them enough to just chew on, to hold them over so that, you can't hit them over the head with it all, or they'll go black. They'll go
information overload. Yeah.
Right. It's information overload. And I can kind of feel like, I don't know if it's my intuition, I don't know if it's just my connection to whatever the world around, but like, I can feel that a lot of people are in these rabbit holes right now. Yep. A lot of people are in, because I've been watching it and it just blows my mind. But it's so funny because for folks like us and maybe a few others out there, like we're like, come on, get in the boat, in the boat so we can fucking sail.
The storm's coming, the rain's pouring. Let's get moving, get on and batten the hatches, get down here. Right. Come on.
No one's coming to save you, dude. We have to save ourselves. That's how God would want it. I think God gave you the tools or whatever. Nature gave you the tools, everything you need. We don't need someone to, it's not going to be, we're not going to win the war with someone flicking their pen. I don't believe it.
No.
It's going to take mass awakening. Look what's going on in Brazil.
Anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah. All that
right
stuff,
now.
That's happening in the moment. And like now the mainstream is saying, well, these far right extremists are doing the same thing that happened on January 6th, and we need to get Bolsonaro. Yep. Bolsonaro's hiding in Florida. Do you really think he's not hiding? Excuse me. He is in Florida right now, and they're trying to extradite him to accuse him of all these crimes of storming the Capitol. I'm like, he didn't even do anything. It's literally the same script. It almost makes you feel like you're in a simulation, right? Because it's the same thing that happened 2 years ago with Trump. And I'm just like, give me a break. Are they really running out of shit in the playbook? They have to play the same things again and again. It's crazy. But all we can do is just keep fighting on and keep the network of the people we know alive. And finishing up here, one of the great things that my activist group, We Are Change Colorado, just did. We just got done with the 9th annual. It's called Community Share Fest, and what we do is We Are Change Colorado, the leaders there, and a couple other organizations get together and we pull together about a dozen different artists, musicians. Well, we have 12 different musicians performing on a stage, but on top of that, we have live painting, we have artists, we have jewelers, we've got apothecary people, we've got massage therapy. Like it's basically like a mix of like a bazaar, a festival, meet and greet. Everybody's kind of bringing their own things together, and we all culminate in this event. And tickets are priced at donation. There's a minimum and a maximum, but we encourage everyone to donate. But it all goes to help the event, help the venue, help the vendors. But at the end of the day, what we do is everybody that comes there is required to bring like a bunch of winter clothes, a bunch of winter jackets, hats, clothing, pants, whatever. So we pool all of these clothes together. And then the very next day, it went from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next morning. We partied all night long. It was a long ass festival, super fun, met a lot of cool people. And then that next afternoon, the following afternoon, we take all those clothes down to the local rescue mission. We set up downtown Denver, and we hand it all out to homeless people and people that need warm clothes, or whether it's blankets, whatever it is. But that we've been doing this for 9 years. And my good friend Johnny Hurley, back in the corner, rest in peace, he was one of the main persons that was a proponent of that. And how do we give back to the community with building ourselves? So it's a perfect outlet. And I encourage anyone that has the will in their own region and in their own area to start something similar. Start something like that with your own local artists and musicians and whatever it is. Make a festival that has a cause, right? It's not about lining your pocketbooks. It's about bringing people together, networking, and being part of something greater. And it was a good energy, good vibes. It was a great time. And and we're looking forward to next year. But that's one of the things that we were just doing. But like, these are steps we take to try to be the change you want to see in the world, right?
That's what's up. Amen, man. Yeah. And everybody's got to kind of start thinking that way. I mean, we have the answers. We have all the answers. We have all the tools. Yep. Because it's within us, and we have to look at each other and say, okay, look, you were on that side of this and I was on this side of this, but we both agree that we need to get this done. This trumps all the other shit. So let's breeze past that crap. Let's bury the hatchet. Let's come together. I love it. I see it happening all the time. And we're entering a very, very historic and unique moment in time space. And I believe anything is possible, man. People have this theory and that theory and all this. And it's like, we already won, dude. It's just, we have to realize it. The good guys already have won. The system is falling apart. The bad stuff's going away. You can see all these bad guys, essentially. A lot of what we see is kind of theater to begin with, but you can see the writing on the wall. They're looking at the writing on the wall and they're freaking out. They can't even do damage control. They can't keep up in real time with real news. It is what it is. So what side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on that awakened front line, ready to take the challenges head on and make a better world? Or are you going to be kind of a sideliner, just watch it all happen and go whatever way the wind blows? There's different philosophies, different people. There's all kinds of ways you can go about this, but don't live in fear. Don't live in anxiety, and don't let the system take everything from you.
Mm-hmm. And that's amen. And that's what we're doing every day. 2023 is going to be a great time. And I know that like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I was away for a while, but now we're coming back strong. I'm not trying to do every video all the time and overload. I'm not going to be the Tim Pool every day, 3 videos a day, all that. He's a legend for that, but that's just not what I'm going to do. I'm going to put out good stuff. And Joe, with sold out.tv, what is your plan? You were mentioning something about the trying to revamp how your platform is, and where can my audience try to find stuff that you want to put out too? So how do we do that?
Thank you so much, brother. Basically, so for those who are interested, soldout.tv, we've been growing the platform. It's kind of the one-stop shop. I send everybody there. So if you want to get into some of the Sold Out podcast, if you want to get into the exclusive content and the interviews that I've done that are, quote, behind the paywall there, $3.69 a month, and I'm keeping that price. That's half of like a Starbucks coffee, I think, ballpark. But $3.69 a month, you get access to the exclusive content. And what we're doing right here, right now, is this is part of our season 9 finale to the Sold Out podcast. We've done 9 seasons over the last 3+ years. And it's all, for the most part, it's all out there. We had some censorship problems in the first 5 seasons, but got it smoothed out, and you can still watch those on YouTube. But long story short, moving into the future, the goal is to, when we release an episode of the podcast or an exclusive long form interview, that's all going to be exclusive content now. We're going to put out the audio. We're going to put out some clips here and there and a handful of other things that everybody can watch, let's say. But to tune in to the high definition, full length episodes of the podcast, we are going to put that as exclusive content, as well as some new stuff. And I'm actually really excited to say this. One of the big things, one of the most popular things that Sold Out has put out is our mashups. If you go to our podcast or soldout.tv/mashups, or just find the mashups on our Rumble channels or whatever, people love those. I get a lot of great feedback on those, and
they're awesome. I sit down and watch them too. Yeah, like just a culmination of all the different things that have been going on and happening, all the different things in the universe, right?
Oh, I'm glad you watched that. I'm glad you checked that out, because it's to set the tones, to give you kind of a broad overview and make you go from start to finish like, holy cow, that's what we're looking at right now. But also wrap in some positive, hopeful stuff for the future, because I do believe in being, real about what we can do as people. But the mashup, I'm putting those on pause, because instead of doing mashups every so often for each episode, let's say, I'm working on a new docu-series. I'm making a docu-series that's going to be on soldout.tv, exclusive content. I'll probably put it out eventually at some point. But for those who are subscribers or Rockfin premium subscribers, if on the SOMTV channel, it'll be on there too. But I'm creating a whole new docu-series, which is going to be, like it sounds, like really well put together, not a full hour long. Each episode is probably going to be 20 to 30 minutes, but highly produced, really a lot. I'm going to take a lot more time with the quality, production, the audio, everything. And I'm going to take, each episode will be tweezing apart one specific topic, one specific thing. And my goal is to put out one of those episodes every 3 to 4 months. So I kind of have a deadline for myself for the first one. There are 2 pilot episodes that they're not anything like what this is going to be, but as exclusive content right now on soldout.tv, there are 2 pilot episodes there of this, but that's not exactly what they're going to look like when I make the first awesome one here. So long story short, I have several projects in the works to expand the soldout.tv platform, and add this to the list. We started a new music project. So I hate to say it, but my old partner in making heavy metal music, my old partner, he made the decision to not be able to work. Well, I guess you'd say it's mutual, but we can't work together because we disagree on reality. Put it that way. Just to put it that way. Yeah. So we had kind of a falling out. My old drummer and I, who we have been making music for upwards of 20 years.
Wow.
And it is what it is. I still love him like a brother, and I wish it didn't happen, but time is moving forward, and my wife is also a musician. So we're actually working on a lot of new music this year to accompany the platform, and also to put out to the world and whatnot. And we're going to take our time with those projects, but they're coming. There's good stuff brewing right now. So like, that's great. A lot going on, but that's, you got to take that creative energy from whatever the universe has given you, and you got to make the best out of it. I wish I could be a little more of a salesman, but that's kind of the breakdown of essentially
Sold Out TV. Sold Out TV is where you can go to check out all that stuff. He's on Rockfin, BitChute, Rumble, and then the subscription based stuff. Just go to soldout.tv, and that's awesome, because I mean, eventually I'd like to get there too, but I've got stuff coming down.
Yeah.
Making it work too. Trying to work with what I have, right? Because I'm still on YouTube, unlike you. Or, sorry that you're not on YouTube, but at the same time, it's kind of better for you, honestly. So, with Break the Chains Media and my YouTube, I was trying to kind of ride the line of the political narratives and trying to get in on all the news and all the info and get what's happening for the day and pull up articles. And that's fun, but it wears you down. And that's kind of where I was in the beginning. I was just like, I can't keep doing this all the time. I'm not like these other guys, and I don't want to be like these other guys, but I want to be able to create content to people that's unique enough that people come back to the channel for. So on my YouTube, Break the Chains Media, if you find me there, it's going to be strictly based on gardening, how-tos, building, tips and tricks for canning, like we were talking about earlier, videos on my beehive, videos on eventually my blacksmithing, and just trades and skills, and even if it comes down to like training my dog and simple stuff around the house. It's I just want to be able to contribute something unique, and at the same time something that still falls in line with the narrative that I want to build a better community, build a better environment, and a better future, right? And if you want to find my more political stuff, whether it's about the vaccines, whether it's about big tech, whether it's about government, all of my more heavy hitting political stuff, I'm going to keep on Rumble and BitChute. And I'm hoping I can jump on Rockfin. If I'm on Rockfin too, yeah, we'll do all of it on Rockfin, and then we'll have little snippets on Rockfin, but then subscription based for like full content stuff. But I'll be posting all kinds of stuff. So you can find me at breakthechains.media. That's kind of my central hub as far as my art and design stuff goes. I have been doing artwork too. I just did an awesome foam. I've been working a lot with foam installations. I made a huge 4-foot 3D eyeball out of foam for my friend. So like I've been doing artwork too. So like that's another thing I'm pushing out there too. So nice. Yeah, but on top of that, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm Break the Chains Media, multimedia, all the media. So breakthechains.media, you can find us there. Instagram, Break the Chains Media. I post a lot of my memes and my videos on Instagram. So I'm still on the big tech platforms, but like I said, the political stuff's going to be on BitChute, Rumble, Rockfin, those kind of things. But good stuff coming. No real set schedule on what I'm going to be releasing when. I am going to try to stick to my Tyranny Response Tuesdays because it's got a good ring to it, and I want to keep on the Tuesday launch. But we will see in the future. But I love being here. I love hanging out with you, Joe, because we've got, like you said, it's all synergy here. We're all good stuff, man.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Always fun to throw in something random like this, start taste testing hot sauces in the middle of a podcast. But
yeah,
fucking awesome products you have. If you ever catch wind of this, of Corey putting out some product, make sure you send him an order, send him a donation, let him know what's up, get on that. And I will say this too. Those who have supported Sold Out Media on our Patreon page, actually, before I ever launched .tv, we had the Patreon page, and I still have a handful of supporters on there. All of those supporters got jars of salsa too. So excellent. Like, there's perks. You get early access to this. You get the free high quality audio downloads, song downloads, and other things. But I also surprised with random perks, and I've literally like delivered salsa to people and done all sorts of fun stuff like that too.
That's something I'll put on my to-do list once I ever get a recurring subscriptions. There might be hot sauce in their future. You never know.
That's right. And that's a great one. I mean, it's a nice thing to be able to make, nice thing to be able to share with the world. And you do a great job. You do a great job with your product. 100%.
You do as well, my friend. You do too as well.
Thank you. This year, I'm going to get some fancy labels. So that next round, this time next year, maybe, or whatever, hook it up.
Well,
It'll look a little better.
if you need help, I've got a label maker. I call it my propaganda printer, because I make all my stickers there, because it's a sticker label machine, but I can type whatever I want. So this one I just made one for this coming year. The sticker says it's 2023, not 1984. Start living, or it said, time to start living in dangerous liberty rather than peaceful slavery.
Love that.
I can make stickers on the fly real quick. So I made my hot sauce labels with that. So if you need help with the labels, the guy to reach out to.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in once again. This is part 4 of the Joe Bradley, Corey Blair hangout podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's always interesting. There'll be more in the future for sure. And thanks for checking us out, and let us know what you think. Share this stuff around, whatever.
Yes. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for checking us out. And as always, folks, fight for freedom.
Peace.